Hey, what's up guys? It's the Magic Hobo here with my second reaction for Nomad of Nowhere, appropriately episode 2, entitled Blythe Hill, which it sounds like a very western name for some sort of hill, I suppose, or other locale, like a town or something. So the last episode ended with the Nomad getting all of the dandelions, I believe is the name of their outfit, alongside Red, Manuel, and Scout, and Toth, T-O-T-H, I believe, out of the briar patch that they burned down while they were in it. Not overly impressed with the tactical genius of Toth, but maybe she has other qualities that have led her to become the leader. She seems rather fierce, at least individually. So yeah, for this episode, I'm expecting that the dandelions, which what a great name for a elite fighting regiment. But I'm expecting that the dandelions will come to learn more about the Nomad. There's going to be some tension, maybe some fighting, a lot of comedy, slapstick, and cute moments, I'm assuming, predominantly with Scout, because Rooster Teeth loves their redheads. So, I think that's everything I had to talk about, so I'm going to go ahead and start the episode up, and I'll see you at the end. Well, you'll see me throughout all of this, but then I'll see you at the end. I won't actually see you, but let's start the video. Okay, we got a caravan moving to the right. A destroyed town. Title screen, that weird buzzard vulture thing. Well, they don't look too happy, which they shouldn't, I guess, really, considering the circumstance.
So maybe the Nomad got away, but at least
he got away.
Not now.
Oh, I see. So he just... Okay, that makes more sense. Not staying with the people who are trying to kill you. There's the Oasis. Very minimalistic in its design. Is that a Schnee? Okay. There's
they're lined up
donkey.
early today.
So I guess people come here for the water, and this is the nature of... That's a lot of gold. I guess that was his life savings. Okay. I see, so you have to pay like a toll to get in. It's interesting. Seems rather substantial. Okay. Got our conquistadors.
Hey! You've got to pay for that!
Maybe you should fill up your wall.
Rules are rules.
Okay.
Captain Toth, Dom Paragon awaits your report.
Are you gonna open the door?
I bet he's gonna be happy to see us.
Probably not. Is that a guy? Okay.
Toth,
Oh.
you're back. I've got a leg hair plucking to Vominos too, so let's just jump to the part where you didn't find the Nomad.
I can see why they're
you
called the
found your
dandelions
never-ending
now.
quest to yada yada yada.
We found him.
What?
We found the Nomad.
You
Of nowhere.
found the Nomad? Oh, Toth! I could just devour you, you beautiful bronze statue. So,
Well,
where is he? I got to see
yeah.
my magical little meal ticket.
Well,
He got away, boss.
You lost the Nomad.
Okay,
He
so
escaped, yes. His magic was as crafty as the legend said.
he might have gotten away.
what are you talking
I'd
about?
like to think we
It wasn't
learned
his
the
magic.
value of teamwork. Well, except in the part where Toss stomped off on her own there at the end and kind of left everybody back.
What Scout means to say is now that we've seen what he can do, we'll be better prepared for the next time.
You probably would have had him if you hadn't, you know, burned down
Dramatic,
that forest.
harrowing, tragic, a fiery escape, dreams up in smoke. I love it. I hate it. But progress is still progress.
A man of
this was
culture.
definitely progress despite your defeat. Every noble venture is bound to endure setbacks. It's like that
True enough.
thing I always say about myself. Back in the early days of the Oasis, when I bravely endeavored to stumble upon the only water source for miles to establish my very own highfalutin utopia. What was my most important quality? Yes, you, in the front.
Persistence?
Looking sharp? A modest loan with a reasonable interest rate?
Being first, which is exactly what we're going to do now. We're going
And
to
the
nab
loan,
that
right?
magical monster before anyone else can get their grubby little hands on him.
No, your hands seem pretty grubby.
How do we do it?
I suggest regrouping immediately and...
Find something to burn down.
Different suggestion.
Oh, you're Red Manuel. Oh, you've got a shtick, third person. I love it. Continue.
Why, thank you. It's nice
I like
to
this
be appreciated
Paragon guy.
for-
Continue.
Yes, apologies. Why worry about being first when you can pay someone else to be first for you?
I'm
What?
not following here, Rojo.
Me neither.
With your many resources and vast influence, you could offer a reward for the Nomad's capture. The Southwest has many bounty hunters.
The
We could
Southwest?
cover much more ground in the search for the Nomad rather than putting all our huevos in one basket. A very unworthy basket.
Sir,
Well-
I think Red is still dealing with a concussion from his spectacular failure on our mission.
I mean, you were the leader.
No, I like
To be fair, he
this.
was out of
I'll
line
give
too,
you
but
money, water, a timeshare, whatever gets me the Nomad before anybody else realizes how valuable he is.
you
Rojo
seem to
here has
say that in
point,
the open a
Toff.
lot.
And I do love
Maybe you should hide how valuable he is.
I can find him. You need to...
What I need is to be certain you can do your job, Toff. Because right now, I've got more doubts than I have fancy
Is that
outfits.
water
and
in the
I
background?
have a lot of
It seems
fancy
still.
outfits. There's something that needs attending on
I
the
hope you do.
outskirts. Just the sort of rough and tumble mission to get you back on track, Chica. And
Chica
don't
Mosfina.
go looking for the Nomad until you prove you can be useful. Understood?
May the best man win.
Oh,
First things first. I
I
want
like that.
new
That's a
wanted posters in
clever
every
little thing
town
there.
from here to the Iron Border, featuring my
the Iron
reward.
Border.
And let's
Okay.
make sure it's got that Don Paragon pizzazz.
Mr. Paragon? Not to be too prickly about it, but the Nomad saved us all. He came back for us. I think he didn't want us to die.
A moral compass. That's just splendid, Scout. That means he's
It's a
got
great way to
weakness.
manipulate him.
Good thinking.
Good thinking, Scout.
No, that's not what I meant. I just... why we gotta catch him so bad?
Because
He's
Elroy
valuable. What do you
wants
mean?
Little wildflower. That's the thing about being the king. You get whatever you want. Besides, who are we to second guess? Do you think you know more about the dangers of magic than Elroy?
Okay, so
Neither.
he's like a local
Now,
governor
cheer up, Captain
for a
Toff.
larger
The
kingdom.
wasteland is a treacherous place
Okay.
that fairer folk can't brave on their own. With any luck, he won't have gotten far. The elements will have undoubtedly slowed him to a pathetic crawl.
I mean, he's like a super magical being. Yeah, it doesn't seem to be slowing him down at all. Oh. He seems quite, town. What a... Ah, Bliss Hill. Okay. I'm not sure if it's on a hill. Interesting, there's a water, trough there, water wheel, but no water. I'm assuming this place had more water at some point and that it was lost somehow. Maybe Mr. Paragon von Evil Satan has something to do with the lack of water, but maybe not. Maybe he does. Not him, but the Nomad.
What do you want? Yeah, you proselytizing? Trying to sling me some ballyhoo?
The what?
The silent cell, huh? Ain't seen that one before.
Who's there?
I don't know, Martha.
The
He
silent
won't
cell.
tell me.
It's a silent auction.
Crafty.
I think he has the same pants that
Trickster. Tell him we
Scout
don't want no
has.
more magazine subscriptions. We can't even read.
Hear that, Snake? We're poor and illiterate. Joke's on you.
that was pretty funny.
Hi, you're new around here. Name's Birdie.
Don't trust this kid.
Project to help Bliss Hill.
Don't trust this kid at all.
Great, but first you have to answer my exhaustive questionnaire. Ready? Ever killed a man? Know your basic arithmetics? Do you believe in ghosts? Can you do a cartwheel? Form could have been better. Hey, I just know something. Can you talk?
Is that on the questionnaire?
Neat. That's good for diversity.
Hey!
Okay, last question. And the most important. Got any food? Or water?
Sand?
Guess that was hoping for too much.
Probably.
So, no food,
Where are you
no water,
standing in,
ain't
kid?
never killed a man. What can you do?
Oh, I like that. That wasn't a moral question. That was a question of capability. Modern art. Magic. I see.
Wow, you can do bona fide magic. What other tricks you got?
He doesn't know.
Fun, huh? Well, I ain't
Or is that all he
complain,
knows?
especially since we got this dancing fruit.
Seems like, oh. Well, should have probably seen that one coming.
Well, if that ain't this town in a nutshell, I don't know what is. But you know what? I think you passed the test, stranger.
This kid's
Come
pretty
on.
sharp. I'm starting to trust him. That probably means I shouldn't trust him.
Magic, huh?
This is probably the kid I shouldn't trust, actually.
They're either here or at Mary Caverns.
Who?
Hold up a second.
What are you talking about?
Barney,
Oh.
why'd you bring a stranger here?
Whoa.
Are you under duress?
He's using the secret code.
What's he saying?
Either he has to go to the bathroom.
Why don't he just talk?
Operation Bandit.
Consult the protocols.
All right. Section 14, Article C, bandits. There's
Something
three
of
types
protocol.
of bandits. The etymology of the word bandit comes from the Valkyrian word bandito, which
Come on, Eugene. My shooting arm's getting tired.
there's no protocol for that. Ow! Another victim of bureaucracy. Curse all this red tape.
I stuff it, Eugene. Why'd you bring him here anyway, Barty?
This
Show them
is
what you can do.
an interesting tale. Hello, critter. Apparently that's what they're called. I
Baby
learned.
rocks?
My pappy's birds and bees talk didn't cover this at all.
No,
God.
you dolts. He brings things to life.
Oh,
With
dolts.
magic.
Is he a Shnee
You know
too?
what that means? Stranger, it's time I told you the purpose of this outfit.
Okay.
We're
The Mill Preservation Society.
The Mill
All them
Preservation
long-legged
Society.
grown-ups forgot about the mill when the water stopped flowing.
Hey,
We're
okay.
the future of this here town, and we're gonna do whatever we can to get that mill turning again.
To heck
Alright.
with the grown-up establishment. Our livelihoods depend on it.
We ain't
Okay,
hooligans,
Max.
We're hooligans. And we's gonna fix Bliss Hill.
We're hula cans.
Does that mean you're with us?
Here they are, Sheriff.
Hold it right there, Longlegs.
Barney,
Long legs.
somehow I knew I'd find out you were the reason for these dunderheads complaining. Looks
Apparently
like
that's
my
a
fool boy led you lot on a goose
Popular
chase. Ain't no magic here.
saying,
It's only gonna
Dunderhead.
bring us more problems.
But Paul, he is doing
He's got the
magic,
critter in the
and it ain't
slingshot.
bad.
Here's the terrified
Stranger,
rock
I'm
creature.
only gonna say this once. Take your dark magic and get out of here.
He ain't a
What about his
stranger,
light
he's
magic?
my
Can you keep
friend.
that?
His magic can help the whole town. In fact, he's gonna bring back the old mill.
What? See, this is why you should never trust kids.
You brought the rocks to life. I know you can do it. Bliss Hill
He
needs
literally
you.
told you that was the only trick he could do. Yeah. Whatever he
Barney,
said.
Get away from him.
Just let him try. It could change everything. I don't care what anybody says about magic.
I don't think this is gonna work. That's probably just gonna turn into a monster, right?
All right, Barty. Time to run along.
I mean, there's no water. Yeah, it's just gonna.
See, Paul, it's working. I knew he could do it.
I knew you had a few
It's
screws
an
loose,
abomination.
But this is bad medicine. We can't have the mill acting on its own like this.
Uh,
It'll bring the wrong sorts to Bliss Hill.
The wrong sorts. I think it's probably just gonna. Yeah. Apparently, it's got a temper too. Can you control your creations? It's Frankenstein's meal wheel, even. And now it's destroying town. Oh, well, he does have some power, even if he can't control his.
You're lucky I don't string you up right where you stand. Get out of here.
Scrin.
Don't never come
Is that what
back.
he said? This is what you get for listening to kids. Well, now their shitty town is a pile of shitty rubble, so I guess it all works out.
Don't see that every day.
Apparently not. Well, this guy's a stereotype and a half. Okay. Bounty hunter. Alright, well that was that. That was definitely that. Initial reactions, that was enlightening. We learned a lot of things about Don Dandelion, whom I originally thought was a woman. Now I'm fairly certain is a man. Learned a lot about the political structure and everything of the kingdom. I believe they are a kingdom, and the plight of the locals, and some more about the Nomad's magic. So I'll be back in just a second with, after I've seen the episode a couple more times, with a few more in-depth reactions and critiques. So see you in about right now. Alright guys, first I'm going to clear up a couple of things. The guy at the end, the sheriff, one of the kids' dads, I forgot all the kids' names, but you know, he looked like he was the sheriff. He told the Nomad to leave or he would string him up. I thought he said Skrin for some reason, which was like the alien race in Command & Conquer 4 or something. So no universe crossover there, unfortunately. I was very excited about it. And then I called Don Paragon Don Dandelion, which might be a more appropriate name, but is not his name. I'm still not sure if Don is his title. I'm assuming it is, and his name is Paragon, but Don might be his first name. But the way they say it, I assume it's a title. And speaking of his title and of the power structure, it's interesting. The Oasis doesn't look like it has a name. It's just called the Oasis, which is fine. Is you know, sensibly a big hub of trade and activity. It seems like all the surrounding inhabitants of the desert, you know, go to the Oasis for water. It seems like a very hefty fine in gold, or not a fine, but a toll in gold to get in. And then apparently you have to pay even more for the water, which leads me to believe that Don Paragon and his establishment in the Oasis are not particularly kind or charitable, and B, that there's a lot of wealth in the region of some variety. I assume perhaps there's a gold mine nearby, which would make sense why the people can pay in gold, and also why they live there. We saw that the Don has a lot more troops besides just the Dandelions. He has a lot of guards in his castle there, and the Oasis seems very well fortified. And his throne room. The Don himself is rather interesting. He looks like a very grown-up and very gay and very mean version of Whitley from Ruby. Like, very caricatured. He's pretty hilarious. There were a few hints. He seems like he's more than just a joke character, though. There was some hints at some deeper thought process, and I kind of saw some hints of why he's in charge and why he's able to keep control of his territory. And it seems like he's been in charge for quite a while. I noticed all the revisionist statues and paintings of him as a much more masculine and imposing figure. But he was very interesting. Interesting to see how he treated Toth after her failure, and the way he treated Red Manuel, which, you know, we didn't get a whole lot of Toth and Manuel and Scout and the Dandelions, but what I did get was interesting. Scout seems to be realizing more and more that the regime of Don Paragon that she's working for isn't exactly one that lines up with her moral compass. He seems pretty ruthless, and I can only assume that that comes down from the top, from the king, King Elray, I believe he called him. And I'm not sure what the name of the nation is. I think Manuel referred to the area as the Southwest, which might be the name of the kingdom, but the Kingdom of the Southwest, it doesn't really have much of a ring to it. That might be the name, but I imagine there's maybe another name for the country, and that's just the southwest portion of the country. So interested to see if we're going to see this king sometime in the season. I assume probably maybe towards the finale, and it'll be interesting to see just what, how he is, how he operates. If he's magic, I assume not. Maybe he's hiding that. Maybe he wants to capture the Nomad for some purpose. Obviously thinks of him as very valuable. It seems like it's a pretty high priority catching this guy. And speaking of the Nomad and his value and his magic, I assume that he can do more than just clap his hands and make inanimate objects turn into the googly eye monsters called critters. Maybe he can't. Maybe that's the extent of his power, but it just kind of becomes more refined later, or he can do it more readily. Because all the magic we've seen him do so far in the show, in these first 2 episodes, it's cool, and I can see why, any, government, particularly a rather power-hungry and repressive one, would want him. But if that's all he could do, I don't think it would be such a big priority like it looks like. Because he doesn't seem that dangerous right now. Lack of the water wheel monster aside. In the town of Bliss Hill, which I assume is the model for most of the villages in the hinterland of the Oasis, seems really not the most habitable place on whatever the name of this world is. The water wheel itself is interesting because it implies at some point there was water in the town or in the area. I noticed there was a water tower behind the wheel. It doesn't seem very practical to fill up a tower and then run it down a wheel. So I'm assuming that tower tapped into an underground reservoir of some variety into the water table, and apparently that dried up. I don't know why the people are still there. That's kind of a thing I haven't learned about the region yet, the area. What is the reason that people are even living here? I can understand having an outpost in the Oasis, but I do wonder why other people are living out in the desert. They have to be doing something. Otherwise, either they'd leave, or if they couldn't leave for some reason, they die because they wouldn't be able to afford the exorbitant costs at the Oasis. So there's some sort of economic activity going on there that we haven't really seen. So it's interesting, and I assume Scout and Toth and the Dandelions and Red Manuel even are gonna probably later on rebel against the Dawn and join the Nomad. That's what I'm assuming. I get, even though Red Manuel has obviously been an antagonist in these first 2 episodes, he seems like mostly just a hot dog. He's just showing off, but he doesn't seem like a bad guy. He doesn't seem as ruthless as, say, the Dawn. But I could be way off the mark there. He might be. And the rest of the Dandelions seem pretty amoral. Like they literally said in the first episode, it's above my pay grade. So they seem like they'll probably as long as there's no oppression too overt and right in their face, they're probably not gonna rebel too easily. But it seems like they're most of the dandelions don't seem too big of a fan of Don Paragon, the way he runs things, and makes me wonder, you know, about Toth and Toth's background and Scout's background and all of them, where they come from. Is Scout from the area? It doesn't seem like it. She has very fair skin, you know, and the ginger hair makes me think that she's a transplant from some other region, whereas Toth with the bronze skin, as Don Paragon said in a very disturbing manner, described her skin and physique, but she seems like she could be from the region more readily than, say, Scout. So yeah, I assume. Oh, and finally, well, two things. One, Don Paragon also mentioned the Iron Border, and I can't remember the exact context of it, but I believe he said that he would pursue the Nomad even to the Iron Border. From the name, I would assume it's either an actual like wall or fence made of iron and presumably, you know, very hard to cross, or that past it is someplace very, 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 you know, inhospitable. So that'll be interesting. I'm highly doubting they just name drop something like that and not have a follow-up to it at some point. So I'm interested in seeing the Iron Border and learning more about that. And finally, we had what I assume is a bounty hunter at the end of the episode. He was walking up to the town of Bliss Hill, I believe, and he noticed the water wheel kind of careening down past him. He took it in stride, better stride than I did. That was interesting. It's going to be really interesting to see the Nomad use his powers and create a lot of different critters out of different material, and see how that goes. But yeah, I think that was most everything in the episode. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I missed that I wanted to talk about. No, I guess just like I said, there was a lot of trading, it looked like, in the Oasis, so I'm assuming maybe they're at like a crossroads of caravans, which would make sense if caravans were crossing the desert to stop at the Oasis. The wall seemed slightly in disrepair with a leak. Don't know if that's indicative of any larger damage or maintenance neglect, but no, it's interesting. It's the world's really being fleshed out. The characters are being fleshed out. It's feeling a lot bigger. Already, I read an interview with one of the producers, I think, of the show, and he said it's one of the more ambitious things that Rooster Teeth has attempted, which I don't see that yet, but I will say I'm already starting to see how it's bigger than Camp. It's bigger than a lot of their animated stuff and things like that. Doesn't seem anywhere near the scale of Ruby yet, but I mean, hey, it's only the second episode. So I'm gonna watch the third episode right after this, and hopefully both are gonna be uploaded today, Friday, April the 6th. One might be delayed until tomorrow, and I hope to finally actually watch the fourth episode on Rooster Teeth, because I am a first member, and I've been a first member for a very long time, and I encourage anyone who enjoys my content, who enjoys Rooster Teeth's content, obviously, to subscribe to their first membership. It's very much worth it. Rooster Teeth's a great company. They make a lot of great things. So yeah, I hope to finally see one of these episodes on their website, and to actually have a recording done so that when it comes out on Friday to YouTube, to people in general, that I can release it alongside that release, like pretty much all the other reactors do, because you don't get a lot of traffic if you don't do that. in my experience. But thank you to everyone who did watch my first 2 reaction videos I put out a few days ago. It was like 17 people altogether. 1 like means and a comment. Shout out to the guy that commented. So it was not a lot of traffic, but you know, hey, you start somewhere. And hopefully once I actually get a schedule set up that actually coincides with the releases, you know, things will be better and I'll have a more stable schedule. And look out for more videos from me. I'm thinking about reacting to some other shows because there's a lot of shows I like that I haven't seen. A lot of things, you know, real acting, you know, like live action and animation and anime and stuff that I haven't seen that I'd like to react to and put out more content on this channel. But either way, look out for the next episode of this today or tomorrow and more content in the future. Like if you like the video, subscribe if you like me, and comment if you want to tell me that I'm ugly and stupid. So have a great day, guys, and I'll see you when I see you. Ciao.